Health officials warning about the potential dangers of medications with those rising temperatures we have. Dehydration, dizziness, and feeling lightheaded can all be some of the side effects. Doctors advise drinking a lot of water, regardless of if you're taking any medications. They say those medications that take fluids out of your body are the ones to keep an eye out for.
But specifically, if you're on medicines that help with getting fluid off of you, a lot of these are blood pressure medicines that can do that. Water pills, diuretics, those are some of the other names you can hear for them. Those are big ones for it. And then another big class of medicines, if you're on stimulants for things like ADD or ADHD.
And you're strongly advised to pay attention to those medicines which you're taking and stay hydrated while it continues to be warm outside.